you, dude. You know, thanks, appreciate it. But it is, it's kind of crazy when people say things like that, how awesome it is to hear, and you know, it's one of those things that keeps people motivated to keep on going live every day, and yeah, so, you know, if you can't afford to donate, if you can't afford to subscribe, go next time you're watching your favorite streamer, just go in and be like, yeah, dude, I love your stream. You do good stuff. Keep it up. You never know how far some nice words can go. As we kick off into game number 1, let's do this then. We start on Overgrowth. And to the bottom left hand side of the map, the red Zerg player is going to be Elazer. His opponent to the top right hand side of the map from ENCE Esports in blue is Serral, and what a run he has had so far, taking down Snoot and Nurture in the last 2 rounds to make it into this stage of the event. If you give me a moment, I'm just going to crack open the bracket on my phone to give you guys the full rundown of who these players have played on the way through so far today. Let me see. So, where did the players begin with even today? So, Serral started out, actually I know who Serral played today. He started out against Showtime. He lost in the very first round of the competition 2-0 to Showtime in the winner bracket. So he got knocked down very early. And a similar story for Elazer, got knocked down by Stefano in the ZvZ 2-0 as well. So Elazer and Serral dropped down to the lower bracket where they have been on monstrous runs. Serral 2-1 Hearthstone, and since then it's been ZvZ throughout against Stefano 2-0, Snoot 2-1, and Nurture 2-0. From Elazer, it's been a good mix of matchups, some ZvZ against Sword of which he 2-0'd, 2-1 against Classic, 2-0 U-Thermal, and 2-0 Bunny. Obviously we've just watched the last of that CVT right there. And now it is this ZvZ qualifying match. Winner will be joining Neeb and Showtime from the European server qualifier at IEM Katowice. Katowice. I love saying Katowice. It really rolls off of the tongue, you know? It really rolls off the tongue quite nicely. As you do see Zergling speed from both players here to set up with early. So both players setting up into Link speed in the early stages now and build up into this, see where we can go. It's been kind of hatch gas pull from both, so nothing too crazy early on, as we're going to be seeing the third hatchery starting up from Elazer in the south side of the map. So third base starts to set on up over here, and we're just going to be seeing this overlord from Serral moving a little bit further down. So overlord's moving into position, and Elazer just moving around a little bit himself with this overlord, looking to see what he can get up to over the next couple of moments. Bit of nest from Elazer. Starting to build, so I mean, kind of interesting. I mean, Elazer's just on a bit of a faster third hatchery into the Bane nest, and Serral just not on a Bane nest or anything right now, so looking as though he might just bypass this and go straight in towards the Roach Roaring and Roach production in the near future. So a few more Zerglings being made then, and we're going to be seeing the Bane nest is about to finish up from Elazer, so that's going to finish in a moment or so. And as that Bane nest finishes here, well, he should have a couple of Banes up in time for what's going to be a little bit of a flood of Zerglings starting to come across the map here from Serral, and Elazer with a Zergling here is actually going to spot this very early on. Doesn't even have to wait for this overlord to see it. A couple extra seconds notice, and he begins to prepare against it. Obviously his third hatchery is maybe going to be one of the positions which is under a little bit more threat than anywhere else at this point, as we're going to be seeing Zerglings coming down into this direction. Going to start trying to surround here to see what's up. I'm going to be seeing these things all turn to fight. You're going to see the Banes looking to see what they can react on. First Bane hit is it's okay. It's not brilliant here, so we're going to be seeing another Bane connection going down, and some Zerglings from Serral continue to move forwards. And we'll see what else is going on, but for the most part, it's really just going to be Elazer with a solid defense here. He has enough stuff, and he pushes this away. More Lings from Serral. He's not droned up just yet, and well, there's the Roaches coming in now too, as he continues to be aggressive with this. It's going to be a big Roachling all in, and Serral is not going to let Elazer get in towards the mid-game of this series, apparently. So for Elazer now, he needs to try and figure this out. And how can he see this? Well, a lack of saturation on the third base, for example, is something that will not be available just yet as a kind of a sign, but will be available soon. Other than that, I mean, just seeing the Roaches and just being safe himself. You know, he starts up his own Roach Roaring. All Elazer has to do is make sure he makes enough. The problem is, again, it takes a while for his Roach Roaring to come up here. His Banes will be very important too, because Serral are reinforced with Zerglings because they're fast and they get across the map quickly, and they do a very good job synergizing with the Roaches, where they take the damage and they get killed off, while the Roaches stay alive and really deal the damage in the back. So it works out quite nicely, and obviously if you can get through that round of Zerglings, life becomes much easier for yourself as Elazer here, as you're going to be seeing more Lings on the way up. First couple of Ravagers are morphing I mean, 10 roaches start to build from Elazer. Can he buy this much time, though? There's a lot of time he has to buy. First Zergle's moving forward to try and fight this. I mean, it's just a little bit of skirmish initially. Gets rid of one roach, another one going very low. As he's pulling back here. 13 roaches on the way. I guess the other issue is, of course, these roaches are going to spawn all over the place. A couple in the main, some in the natural, some at the third. It's just going to be difficult for Elazer to bring everything together at the same time. Because he isn't even that much of a worker advantage going in behind this anyways. As here we go, roaches will attack in from the back, drones will pull in as well. They need to come in and fight, because he needs everything he can get right now. Position on the ramp is good as he's targeting down Ravagers, but there's still just so much here from Serral, and Elazer has not figured this out early enough. The drones keep dropping, the army supply isn't there, and that's going to be Serral taking game number 1, clean and crisp. GG's, he takes the first game of this best of 5. Serral looking good already. With this and go to the round of 24, then go to the round of 64. As we start it up, let's see what happens. To the bottom left-hand side, down in this series, it is going to be the red Zerg player fighting to battle it out in his home country, live at Katowice. It is Elazer to the bottom left-hand side of Daybreak. His opponent to the top right, representing ENCE Esports. Give it up for Serral. It is indeed best of 5 here today, guys. I actually forgot I can't stand up and stretch my legs anymore with the with this microphone. I'm so used to being to using the microphone on the headset, right? So I've actually in the cast been standing up a lot more, and it's kind of nice being able to stand up, walk around a little bit while casting, especially in the early stages, to stretch the legs out, get ready for the next game. Obviously, if I stand up right now, I end up kind of sounding as though I'm running away from you all as I back away from the microphone. So I better just stick towards the front, shouldn't I? Alright, game 2 then, and we are going to be seeing drone just on the way up from both players. A hatchery starting to build as well. And Elazer just continue to move on over to the right hand side. A natural hatch from Elazer just halfway done. Nice done stuff here on Daybreak. Really not seeing anything from the get-go, which is too out of the ordinary, so we'll have to wait a few moments to figure out if anything will happen out of the ordinary, or if this is just going to be nice, straight up and standard for the coming moments. So let me see this gas pillar, just going to be finishing up. Again, just waiting to really go into this game on Daybreak. Some of the Elazer, I don't feel as though we've really been I don't feel as though I've ever casted this series before. I wonder how many times they've played in the past. Serral's one of these players who doesn't play in a lot of the online events like Elazer does. You know, and when I say online events, I mean a lot of, like, for example, kind of go for SE2 and so on. He plays now and then, but he doesn't play as frequently as Elazer. Both players are currently studying, of course, actually. Both of you, I don't know if you guys know that about Elazer. I think it's kind of commonly known for Serral that he does study a lot, and sometimes his studies do affect his practice. And when he's studying, he definitely... You can see kind of him dropping skill a little bit when he is busy studying and not practicing as much. Elazer studies as well, as we set up into this. So actually, these guys have played twice before, both times in 2016, and the early half of 2016 as well, February and April actually. They played each other in, what event was it? Tell me. Can't find out. Alright, well no worries, either way, they've played each other twice. Both times, Serral won the series. 3-1 the first time, and 2-1 the second time. I imagine that might have been in Challenger League or somewhere, the 3-1. Either way, not really too important. They have played each other last year a couple of times. That's all we need to know, is Serral is going to be building up into this lair. And yeah, we've seen the Evo Chamber finishing up as well. I mean, he's just going very fast lair, obviously, which means the Roach Run will come down. He's just heading in towards nice Roach speed +1 timing. Zergler speed will complete on both sides, and Elazer, without going in towards a fast lair and all the rest of it right now, will get a much faster third hatchery out of this for himself. But of course will fall behind when it comes to the Roach-based unit, so Elazer will be reliant on a better economy. His opponent reliant on better and stronger tech / composition in the earlier stages of the game. Here we see in the couple of lings moving around. We'll see what else they can get up to, and a lot of lings here from Serral able to kind of come on through and just chase down this Zergler or so of Elazer. Chasing that down. Going to be seeing the Eva of Elazer. Just finishing up behind the mineral line here. We're going to see the Roach speed is starting from Serral as we expected to. I mean, Elazer going into his Roach Run. What did he just cancel there? Was that an Evo? He cancelled to build a Roach Run instead? I think it might have been. Maybe just feeling as though he needs the safety setup a little bit earlier on. There's actually lings from Serral right now. Gonna pick off a couple of Queens. That's already a great start. Doesn't lose any lings really just so far. And it's Elazer who's once again kind of taking deficits early in the game. Needs to make sure he doesn't let that continue. He needs to try and keep himself in this. Falling 0-2 behind in the ZvZ, well, you never know when one bailing connection is then going to end your qualifier life from there. As we're going to be seeing these lings backing around from Serral. Elazer are going to be chasing forwards as well right now. And looking to see what else is going on as we see a few more roaches on the way up. Elazer with a queen building the natural expansion. And this overload being pushed away as well at the same time. And yeah, Zerglings themselves just coming back in towards the right hand side of the map. Roaches here. Pick off one Zergling to begin with. A couple more roaches coming in as well. And +1 and roach speed. Both starting up right now, so still setting up into this as we're going to be seeing this group of Zerglings. Going to come around the side and start attacking in towards the third base. Going to start harassing himself, and he might get a queen kill. But actually the lings will come in and push this back, so unfortunately so far not going to happen. There's a lot more lings on the way from Elazer, like a lot of lings. He's made roaches too. And he's going to try and all in basically into Serral, who's got, well, roach speed and +1. So it's kind of a weird situation where Serral will have a good set of upgrades and a good army, really, to turn this around and shut it down here. You see these lings moving forwards. I mean, Elazer picking off a couple more units of his opponent here to begin with. Serral needs to make sure he starts joining himself together again. With +1 in the game, he two-shots these Zerglings, which means the initial Zergling buffer is not going to be as powerful as usual. Nice kiting backwards away from those Banelings as well. And now he moves forwards. He's eager to get on top of those roaches, realizing here that he has to be a bit more careful with more lings streaming across. And Elazer across the barrels are doing a little bit to kind of slow this down. But nice move by Serral, moving on in, and that is going to be Roach. Roach is holding down Ravager after Ravager after Ravager. GG's, and Serral takes game number 2. Guys, we're going to jump into game number 3 of this in just a moment. Quick 2-minute break, and we'll be right back with Serral on the verge of qualifying. Because of the spawning locations. And, well, let's see how it turns out. Elazer will get a little bit of luck in the early game as he sends his first overload in the correct direction. I mean, both players will basically, what they're doing is send their overloads in a direction where they reach their opponent's natural, or reach the natural expansion of the base they send it to, before the main. So, for example, this overload here will go up here and get to the natural first, and we'll be able to see nothing there. And it's the same from Elazer going up this side. That's generally the way people tend to play this out. That's generally the way they kind of send their overloads. And as we do see to the top right hand side with an early gas pool in game number 3 to try and take this qualified spot now. It is Serral to the top right, from NC Esports to the bottom right. Elazer, the red Zerg player, currently teamless. Alright, let me just tab momentarily to run the ad break, guys. Thank you for understanding. Let's jump back in. Perfect. 3-minute stream delay today for the qualifier, and obviously running a 2-minute ad break means that when we're coming back, the ads haven't actually started on the stream just yet, so I do have to just tab out and get them rolling at that point. As we set up into this, an overload moving in towards the upper right hand side, so overload moving towards the upper right and having a little bit of a look to see what is going on. We're going to see this link speed starting up as well in the main base. Obviously a best quite fast Lingbane coming in. I mean, from Elazer, this overload coming in early means he does have a good chance to kind of figure this out and to see this happening, in comparison to, say, you know, if Elazer or say if Serral was top left, he wouldn't see this coming for a very long time. For a very long time indeed, and same kind of to the bottom left as well. You see the first few Zerglings sneak out here, but I mean, Elazer sees these lings now with the next two. I mean, he sees the overload and he sees no hatchery, so he has a pretty good idea of what this is going to be. As Elazer himself actually opened gas pool hatch, so he did his after the overload. So it's a bit of a build-up advantage from the get-go from our Polish Zerg. As we see him, well, I guess the main thing will be trying to defend his natural expansion, which is going to be under attack in just a moment. And as we're going to be seeing the lings coming forwards and going to start working their way through this hatchery. So hatch starting to take some damage, and ooh, ling's going to get surrounded there by Elazer. That's not pretty, because again, this really is going to be a difficult defense from him, especially with ling speed about to finish up. As these lings will try and start dancing around. Hatchery half health already. If ling speed kicks in, I mean, you can go for that queen surround. 1 second to go, and here we go. He's going to jump for the queen. I mean, the queen's a nice pick-off, of course, if you can get it. The lings will try and help out as well, but I mean, so will the drones. Everything's going to come forwards here from Serral, from Elazer, sorry, to try and defend. But Serral just has plenty, and Again, a couple of drones killed. He'll go into towards the main. You'll see another queen here. And just see what's going on. Sees the Bane and Nest also. Spinecrawl actually cancelled from Elazer. It feels as though he doesn't need it. I mean, to be fair, it was a good build order initially from him anyways, so that definitely helps with this. But honestly, Elazer is in a bit of trouble still. This queen is about to go down once again. Oh, it's just staying alive on 7 HP. That's huge, actually, because if he loses the queen again, that's leaving more production he's going to be denied on. And we're going to see this natural hatchery taking more damage. Elazer still trying to fight into this, but Serral has enough units to keep on turning and fighting. And he's turning and fighting effectively here. Getting those lings very low and then disengaging himself in plenty of time. And as we will see this fight, though, as reinforcements come in, will eventually just tilt in the favour of our Polish Zerg. Now we see Serral again ready to push forwards once more. Back at home, he's building up a couple of queens for himself, going up to 3 queens in total. And he's obviously continuing to build up into more and more Zerglings. Only a couple of drones behind as it stands. As he'll continue to fight here. Again, another nice little fight. If he can get onto that queen, that'd be huge. I mean, again, this is the only queen that's up right now from Elazer, and if Serral just keeps spamming Zerglings and he kills that queen, then suddenly there's no inject available, and that could be a big play. As you can see, these lings actually going towards the center. Looks as though Serral's going to run the long way around to try and surprise his opponent here, and maybe catch Elazer a bit off guard with, maybe some, Azzy's drones or something. And we've seen a few more units moving out, and Serral sees this. He's going to wait for the right opportunity. Also, the fact that there's a Bane Nest up right now as well means that Serral has to be a little bit more careful. Means he has to be cautious of potential Baners when he attacks in. And there he goes, moving forward. He's going to get the Queen. He obviously would like to get the hatchery, but there is Zerglings here, so that won't be possible just yet. He'll dive for a couple of drone kills. I mean, 1 drone kill, now a second one too. He's going to take a worker lead from this now. 16 to 13 as he drones up a little bit behind this. Queens at the front will be a big part of defending against these 2 Banelings. Target fire those down, and suddenly you don't have to worry about them quite as much. As you see, 1 going down, the second goes down as well. Transfuse to keep Queens healthy. Spinecrawler building from Serral also. He knows he's in the lead right now. He knows he just doesn't want to throw this away. The Spine will help again a lot with kind of taking down aggressive Banelings. And as we see, Elazer starting to realize this isn't happening, starting to go back into drone production. Transfuse comes in on this Queen. It's about to go down. Is he going to save it? It's going to stay alive. 5 HP. This really is... Oh my god, that Baneling very nearly connected on everything. This really is the game of Queens at this point, as they are continuing to stay alive at very low health. Now, as I say that, we do see a couple more of them going down, but it's Elazer who is trailing heavily at this point. 1 more Baneling disappears, and it's Serral with a huge amount of Zerglings. And he's going to move across the map with this small advantage that he has now, so... Let's see if he can do anything with this. More drones coming up behind this. That's the major thing here. While Elazer makes a huge round of lings to defend, it's Serral who's just making drones and getting further ahead for the rest of the game. Starts to fight on in, and he feels as though he has enough to take this fight for a couple of moments. Continue to back away, re-engage with a bit of a better concave on his side. Will end up going the way of Elazer here, though, just because he has, again, more reinforcements, and it's still very close. A lot of those lings very low on health for Elazer, so very close indeed as Serral. Again, behind this now, at an 11 worker lead, and from this point, well, what do you do? Honestly, one of the best things to do might just be to drop a Roach Roar and hit a big Roach Ling timing. When you're ahead on an economy like this, going for an aggressive timing like that can be beneficial in multiple ways. First of all, if your opponent's trying to macro, well, they might not have enough to actually make enough to defend. But secondly, if your opponent's trying to be aggressive, you're also basically building up into your own attack, and so you should have enough to defend yourself. So it kind of works in a couple different ways as being beneficial. Looks though we're just going to be seeing the Baneling Nest coming down instead, as Serral and defend these lings that dive in towards his main. And again, Serral's units so far, Serral's game plan so far, and ZvZ so far has really looked solid today. He hasn't lost ZvZ today. It was Elazer who lost against Stefano in the first round of the winners bracket. It's been Serral who's been taking down all the top European Zergs, Snoot, Nurture, and he took down Stefano as well in the lower bracket as well. So it really has been Serral on top of the ZvZ throughout the bracket here. And we'll continue to see that now in this final matchup, this qualifying round, as we see a bunch of Zerglings will head down to the south. Serral here will move on down in this direction and again look to see what he can maybe get up to. Single Baneling of Elazer will start to move forwards, and a couple of lings moving around as well. Creeps starting to reach some of these bushes over here, starting to kill them off. Poor bushes, man. Try to be a piece of wildlife on a map with creep spreaders. Not a fun job. He's going to be seeing this Overlord just pushing back over to the right hand side once again. Larry's on the way from Serral then. I mean, he's continued to take all of his advantages now and just really push it into a bigger advantage. Really take it and push it into something he can win the game with at this point. You can see that Overlord does get popped down. A couple of Banes still around from Elazer. It's still a Ling Bane game between the players, although we're starting to head in towards that Roach stage. +1 missile attack on the way from Serral. Obviously, the Lair gives him the ability to go in towards the Roach speed. And that's going to be the big difference right now, I guess, the lack of roach speed for Elazers. A bit of a run by will come over in this direction, and 2 Banes. Oh, that was unlucky for Serral. A couple moments earlier, and he would have killed off 2 Banes and all of those Zerglings as well. That would have been a dead third hatchery. As it stands, though, it's still okay. I mean, again, Elazer is way down on workers, so for Serral right now, with this 13 worker advantage, the income advantage he's got, he should just be able to start making roaches. He doesn't really need to drone much further than this. Just start making roaches, prepare for the +1 and the roach speed to finish, and go into this aggressive +1 timing from here. And just, I mean, again, even if he attacks when the +1's finished of his opponent, the income advantage that he stands with right now should give him enough, because either way, I mean, you know, what does Elazer do? Either he drones up and then he makes roaches, in which case he won't have as many roaches, or he just makes roaches straight up, in which case he probably won't have as many roaches anyways because of the lack of economy. There's no right answer right now from Elazer. There really isn't a right answer. It's an uphill battle for him, and anything he does is not exactly kind of the correct, the correct way to play. You know, everything he does has advantages and disadvantages, but there's not one way I think which stands out more so than the rest. I think, I guess maybe just kind of trying to play kind of standard, just macro up, get ready to go, try and go in towards a kind of a later game scenario, and just hope that your opponent attacking into you overextends and attacks into some defensive positions that you can hold off very easily. Maybe that's the best way for Elazer to approach this. So, just making some roaches now. He did drone up, he's on 51 drones to 52, and it really is just the roach count kind of coming in from Serral. That's kind of scary, as he will be having a bit of a cleanup over here. His own +1's about to finish. He's got roach speed now too, which means that he'll attack across the map very quickly. And this +1 on roach speed finishes a bit. That's on a few more drones, just again rebuilding that worker count and continue to build on that, as he'll look to take this advantage towards the center. And take the watchtower, sees a few Zerglings, knows about that run by then, so he can deal with that nice and easy. Pulling queens across the map as well. Serral very serious about making this attack happen. These transfusers can actually go a long way, much more than you'd think. And there's going to be seeing Serral moving forwards. He's going to go up the ramp, but he'll find a queen straight away for free. He gets a couple of shots off before +1 finishes off his opponent, and obviously that will just help to continue tilting things even further in his favor, as Serral is up 20 army supply on his opponent's side of the map. Picking off more roaches, these couple queens coming in to help defend, but there's no transfuse available, so they're going to go down pretty quickly, and roaches just keep streaming in from Serral. A couple of queens over here picking off an overlord too. That's not really too substantial. It would have been better to maybe keep them moving forwards. Either way, though, it doesn't matter. Serral has so much here, and he's picking off drones and drones and drones. A couple of reinforcements getting shut off now, but I mean, picking off workers over in this position. Yeah, Serral is in a great spot here. Knows he has more roaches in this position too. Reinforcing roaches will come in as well, and Elazer's ZvZ is just not going to be there today to take down Serral. GG, very well played, he says. He taps on out of the game. Serral takes the 3-0, convincing ZvZ to qualify